We're on the Murray. It's mid-May. We're on Ekeberg on the upper stretches. Fantastically beautiful. Perfect condition, I would say. A bit low water maybe, but 12 degrees, it's nice. I'm going to do a little film here on how to select a good selection of salmon flies. First of all, is the fly important? I think it's very important. To me, the fly is all the fish will see, and the fly is the key to make the fish take. We're going to ask a few people, and we're going to look around, and we're going to use all the experience and put together a good selection of flies for any river to choose. So Alan,
yeah,
is the fly important?
Yes, in a way it is. Depending quite a lot of the current in the water, depending on the size of the fly, depending on the color in the water.
That was many things. Pick one. What's most important?
The size and the speed.
So is the fly important or not?
The fly is important, but it's important to fish the fly you actually feel confident with. Like the current and actually how fast I will fish the fly and how deep I will fish the fly. That's most important for me. That makes the size of the fly.
So is the fly important?
Maybe.
When you pick one, what do you think about? What's important?
It should look nice, it's important, but I don't know. Color maybe.
So is the fly important or not?
I don't really think so. I think the presentation is the most important thing.
And when you pick your fly, what do you think about?
But it's too bright in the water.
So is the fly important?
I think the fly can have a pretty good impact on it, but you should believe on it yourself. That's the most important.
So you pick one, what do you think?
I would like to have this really good swimming moment in it. It should swim really good.
So Kalle, is the fly important?
No.
When you pick a fly, what do you think about? What's important?
First the color and the size. Color and size. But I think it's more important the way how the fly comes and the speed.
Is the fly important?
Of course. Always.
When you put one on, what's the most important things you think about?
That it's the right size for the conditions. So high temperature, small sizes, and cold water, bigger sizes. And then of course to have some color settings that matches the water you're fishing.
Yeah.
Is the fly important?
Yeah, it could be.
Yes.
I don't think so. Not this time of year.
So when you pick a fly, what do you think about? What's important to think about?
Size. Look good.
And what about the
Believe in it.
Finnish team? What do you say?
The size is to me number one. Size and color.
I think the fly is very, very important. The reason for that is that the fly is the only thing the fish should see. To me, fly is the key to success.
And now you think, of course he says like this. He's a fly tyer. He committed his life to salmon flies. But I also put all my fishing experience behind that. The fly is all the fish will see, and the way it will swim is what triggers the fish to take. Let's see if I can share some of my thoughts with you. On the clear river, I always try to harmonize the color of the fly with the color of the water, especially on a sunny day. On the green river, I try to pick a fly with a bright green tint to it. Some rivers get a little bluish color to them when they're clear, On rivers that like this, I try to pick up the blue and fish a fly with the blue color. The silver and blue combination can be very, very good on those rivers. Maybe it sounds a bit crazy to talk about green rivers and blue rivers, but actually very, very few rivers are crystal clear. When they're clear, they got a little tone to them. Very few are what we call gin clear, like this little clip you see here from Iceland. On rivers like this, the trick is to try to make the fly disappear. I fish sparsely dressed flies in silver with a bit of gray hair and very, very, very little flash and blue. All of us like to fish the clear river. You can see everything, but it's also very difficult because the fish are spooky and you have to be extremely careful. The opposite is when you have a big rain and you get into a full flood. To be flooded is never funny, but here is also a chance for some really good fishing. On conditions like this, the trick is to make the fish see the fly. We fish strong colors of orange, yellow and red to make the fly stick out in the murky water. The browner and less sight you have in the water, the more flashable and brighter colors I fish. And also, the bigger the size you need to fish. This is on the D where I regularly fish my little D sheeps of 15 millimeters. A day like this, a 15 centimeter fly will do the trick for us. When the river is as bad as this, maybe it's better to just grab a beer and lay down in the grass and wait, because a big flood like this always makes some fish run. The days after a flood very often gives you the season's best fishing. When it comes to fishing in the dark, we need different flies. In the pitch dark we use the silhouette. All colors leave the same silhouette, but most often there is a bit of light, and the black flies are superior. When the light goes away, colors disappear. Bluish purple colors stay longest. That's why I spice up my range of night flies in these color combinations. I love fishing at night. Most of the big fish get more active when the sun leaves the water. At night I fish a lot bigger flies, 2 times, 3 times, or even bigger than when I fish daytime.
Great fish, congratulations!
Thanks.
Where did you get this?
Pool
2 on the fly,
2.
right?
Yeah.
And what fly did you use?
A little yellow fly.
Okay.
With orange hackle.
Okay, good.
The ulsock didn't work this time.
Okay. This is your first fish this year, or?
My first salmon in Murray.
Your first salmon in Murray, okay.
I couldn't be happier.
That's a good start.
First, I thought it was a little fish. It was just on the bottom. Then a guy comes by and I asked, do I need to set more pressure? And he said, I don't think you can set any more pressure. It's a pretty big fish.
Normal days with no sun on the water, or cloudy days, I stick to the principle to harmonize the color of the fly with the water. On the clear river, I like my flies to have a dark back. Black and silver is a superb combination. On the blue river, I keep the blue in the flies even on the cloudy day, and actually T-sheep is one of my favorite flies of them all. Quite a few of my favorite rivers are what I call green rivers with little greenish tint to the water. Here, among those flies I fish for those rivers, you find quite a few of my absolute favorite patterns. Flies that's given me hundreds of fish. Most of our Swedish rivers, like the Mörrum, are rivers coming out of the forest. These rivers have a little brownish tint to them. When they're clear, they've got like a whiskey or tea color to them. On these rivers, different kinds of patagorvas are my absolute favorite. The lighter ones in the good weather and the darker ones on the cloudy days. On these conditions, the brownish fly is superior everything else. When the rivers get a little more color to them, you add a little bit more of orange and gold to make them stick out a little more. Some of these patterns are my absolute favorites, patterns that I fish on salmon rivers all around the world. Nowadays I do quite a bit of fishing with skaters and dry flies. The skater needs to ride high and give a good wake. A good dry fly should float really high. You should be able to fish it free float, but you should also be able to skate it. It should ride on the waves in the fastest water. I add a little turbo disc to my bombers, fish them 3 colors, and they will float and skate super good. The green turbo bomber is my absolute dry fly favorite. It's a fantastic feeling to skate that over some big, fresh June fish.
Ulrich's got one here. Going up really fast. Ulrich is one of the guys I used to know here back 25 years ago. One of the good local guys.
So while we watch Ulrich play this nice fish from the Mörrum, let's see, if we decide that the fly is really important and that we want to have a collection for all different situations, we need to have quite a few flies actually. We need flies for clear weather and for cloudy days. Make sure to harmonize the colors of the fly with the river. Size is important. Make sure when you change that you change in a way that even the fish will see what you do. To change 1 or 2 millimeters doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So, let's say we take 2 to 3 patterns in 3 sizes for sunny clear days and the same for cloudy days. For example, make them 15, 30 and 50 millimeters long. I always measure my flies on the longest part, which normally is the longest hair on top of the wing. The night flies needs to be a bit bigger. Let's say we pick 2 patterns, like black and bluish patterns, in 3 sizes, 6, 8 and 12 centimeters maybe. If the heavy rain comes and you're up to floody conditions, be sure to have a couple of very bright flies. These should also be fairly big, from 10 centimeters and up. If you settle for 2-3 flies of each, all in all you end up with a collection of about 60 flies. Add some skaters and a couple of dries and you're covered with 70 good salmon flies. 70 flies, a collection that won't let you down no matter what. I love my salmon flies and I carry a lot more flies than that, but I am maybe a bit more crazy than most people.
Ulrich, tell us about it.
Oh, it was a very good fight. Very strong fish.
Took some line upstream, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Lots of line.
And it's your third so far this year.
Yes, my third.
And what fly?
Also.
And one question, is the fly important?
Yes, it's important.
Why?
Why?